got a chance to see Iron Claw. Urgh. Find out my thoughts right now. All right, well, Merry Christmas, everybody. I went to the movies today. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Holidays to everyone. I hope you guys had a good time with your family. So I went to the movies today, and I'm like, wow, the parking lot is completely full. I mean, completely full. I've never seen a theater that full. And I'm like, what's going on? You know, everybody decided to go to movies today, but then I realized the color purple came out. So I am in Atlanta. So that was full over here. I don't know how it's doing nationwide, but over here it was full. So I am your host. I am an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer. I'm also a line producer for film and television. That hasn't worked in the past 6 months in that capacity. I have done a rewrite, and I have done some budgets in the meantime for films that are looking to get financed. So I have done some work. But yeah, I'm looking forward to actually getting back on set soon. That would be awesome. So anyway, let's talk about Iron Claw. So I let me start with the fact that I am not a fan of wrestling, and I think that's detrimental here to a certain extent, because I think with this film you have to have a certain amount of affinity for wrestling, because there's a lot of scenes that deal with wrestling. I mean, yeah, I was able to watch Glow, but we had women fighting. You know, that's a big difference, I think, to myself anyway. You know, the evil male gaze. So this is written, directed, produced, everything by this guy named Sean Durkin. So I guess he's a producer that also writes and directs. He's done absolutely nothing else that I've seen. He produced a show called Dead Ringers that came out this year that I guess it's along the lines of the movie, I guess, but I know nothing about anything that he's done. But I gotta say that Zac Efron in this film, he was, if I didn't know he was in the film, I probably wouldn't have recognized him, because even his jaw was, I mean, he had more of a square face in here than I've ever seen him before. I know he's trying to be, more of a dramatic actor, but he really bulked up for this. Oh my God. I mean, all these guys were heavily bulked up. Jeremy Allen White, who you know from Shameless and The Bear, is also in this. And this is taken from a true story. Now, how true it is, I don't know, because I don't know these people that are obviously very famous in the wrestling world. I was, obviously alive during that time. The whole thing takes place from the late 70s to pretty much the mid 80s. So it takes place in very microcosm. In fact, most of it takes place from 83 to 86 for the most part. So like a 3-year, window, really it all takes place on. And the amount of stuff that happens in 3 years is crazy. So there's the Zac Efron's character. His name is Kevin. He has other brothers, and one was supposed to be in the Olympics, but at that time, I guess we had the problem with Russia and Afghanistan, and the Olympics were supposed to be taking place in Moscow, and Jimmy Carter went, nope, we're boycotting. So he wasn't able to go to the Olympics, which broke his dad's heart. His dad, or their dad in this case, with all the boys, their dad was a wrestler and never was able to get the world belt. He was never champ for the world. So he pushes his kids so that he can live vicariously through them. But he never shows them any love for the most part. He puts a lot of pressure on them. He makes them which to their credit they don't really do. But he pits them against one another by saying he ranks them. I love you more than I love you, but that can change depending on what you do. I don't know what father does that. That's not good fathering. So they they're all kind of vying for his attention. However, their bond as brothers is closer than their bond with their father. And their mother doesn't really interfere at all. She kind of stays on the outlier and doesn't really help them in the least. And it's a very odd family dynamic. But he ends up meeting Lily James, who ends up becoming his wife, meaning Kevin, which is Zac Efron's character. So there's Kevin, there's David, there's Mike, and there's Kerry, who I remembered all of. So Kerry was the one that was supposed to go to the Olympics. That was the one who was the guy from Shameless and The Bear. So he tells her that there is a curse on his family when they change their name. And she's very cute about how she meets because she's obviously pushing him to have him ask her out. But I guess he's never really been with women before. So he kind of blows her off. And she's like, aren't you just going to ask me out? He goes, So I thought that was kind of cute. He comes off kind of stupid in that scene, but yeah, it was okay. I don't think that he's not stupid, but he's never really pushed to use his brains, if that makes any sense. And Mike, who is not muscular, wants to play music, but they constantly put him down. The parents, not the other brothers, don't put each other down, but the parents push him down. He wants to play music, and he's getting paid for it, and they put him down. So the curse, I guess, is real to a certain extent, and the father pushes one brother, David, to actually go to Japan or whatever else for the world thing, and he ends up dying there. So it's like almost like 10 Little Indians, where they just keep dying off, where Zac Efron's the only one left. And again, this is all based on a true story, so it's really really weird. It's really a weird story. So, and of course it switches back and forth between them being wrestlers and world renowned ones on top of that. So they all they were actually indoctrinated into the Hall of Fame. That's they're still to this day the I guess I don't know how many brothers you possibly have in a family. Here you have 4. So I don't know how many people that can compete with that. 4 people in a family being wrestlers that are all pretty much similar ages. So anyway, they're world renowned, and they had all these bad things happen to them. So, and they have an abusive father, not physically abusive, but mentally abusive. So yeah, and Zac Efron continually tries to keep everybody together, and it just doesn't really work out. So I was very, especially on Christmas, I heard this film was really good, so I wanted to go, and the performances are really good. That it is drawn out. I think that it is drawn out. Again, the people with the cell phones, man. At least this woman was dropped the brightness on the screen, so I didn't really complain. But I think the movie is a little over 2 hours, and over like an hour and 15 minutes of that 2 hours, she had the phone here. She wasn't even watching the movie. She was watching her phone. Why be there? Why pay that $20 to be there when you could just sit on your couch and have your phone in your face? I don't understand people. It's the weirdest thing to me that people are more interested in their phones than they are with what's on the screen. And you're paying to be there. If you're in front of Netflix at home, okay. But it's just really weird to me. I don't quite understand it. If anybody has any insight to that. And then if I was sitting, it was a whole family there. And they were all doing it. They all had their phones out. I'm just confused. I just live in a different time or different dimension than a few other people on this planet. I don't get it. So anyway, the movie. There was obviously everybody really loved this movie. Every um, review I've seen have all been positive, and I agree that the acting is exceptional and that the story is heartbreaking. But I guess that's not really what I wanted to see. I really wanted to see more of a uh, Rocky type of movie, where it was all inspirational. But this is very depressing. I mean, this is incredibly depressing. So just know that when you're going in there to see this film, that you are not going to have a good feeling when you leave. And I think that's my biggest problem with it. And again, it's a true story, so you can't like change it. So, but that's what it's about. So again, I'm just preparing you for that. And for me, since I'm not a fan of wrestling and I was not a fan of being depressed, the my rating is a little bit lower than probably everybody else's. It was probably just my state of mind wasn't correct for this. So for me, it was better than average. So average being 5 is probably a 6.5 for me. It's about a movie I will probably never see again. That's for sure. All right, well that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And again, a lot of people are gonna like this movie for the wrestling side of things because it's people that they know, stuff like that. So if you like it, I totally get it. I tell you, it just wasn't for me. So let me know if you did see it and if you did like it, because I'd be interested to know. All right. And again, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Holidays all the way around. And if you'd like to check out any of the stuff I've written, I'll give you a link below. And I am still working on Lords of LA for late pledge in January, and the card game with Mark Spears and I doing the Monster Classic Monster stuff that I'm going to be releasing the first quarter of this year. All right, check out some other videos. Give me the thumbs up. Thank you so much for helping me grow the channel. Subscribe if you can, if this is your first time. Hearing me give, I don't know, a non-positive review. I hope that doesn't put you off. I do like other things. All right, thanks a lot, guys. And again, happy holidays.